answered me and have become my salvation. He has given us light. To not forget, I'm sorry that you may have expected to hear the stories that come from the Gospels about how some patiently waiting, others were trying to push the envelope and create a Messiah. At the same time is Pontius Pilate and his entourage coming in. So the Roman governor, with all of this waiting season of hundreds of years for Messiah, so all of this kind of stuff is building what they hope for and what is expected. What's interesting is Psalm 108. So hundreds of years before this was the Exodus, when Moses could have been a part of Passover. So early on, the first Psalms, like 113, are filled with thanksgiving. Because why? And of course, we know that Jesus also institutes some new things. The commandment to love one another. And in the foot washing that he does with the disciples. We also know that many people to Assyria and Babylon. And when God finally restores them back to their promised land, they are again delivered from that captivity. So Passover has lots of meaning for our Jewish friends, but also in our own, for God protecting them, for God delivering them, for the salvation that God offers. So this is significant for us to hear this, I think, on Palm Sunday. To not just simply get lost in the fanfare, and in Him. And so there is so much more of the story, but Palm Sunday is the start of Holy Week, and it's important for us because we, as Christians, need deliverance, right? It's not just our Jewish and Christian answer or God's purpose for me. And then there's other people that say, well, I think I've got God's plan figured out for me, and maybe they do. But a lot of times that's just some words that don't have a lot of understanding behind them because they seem not to be seeking the righteousness of God, not to enter the gate, God's righteous gate. And then there's other people that are new to a faith belief or exploring that possibility. There's people that are confused. So we have a lot of people who are struggling to find out what God's purpose or God's plan is. I like to think that we Christians need to stay open-minded. We may think we're on the path. We may be on the path, God's journey with us. But we can't be closed-minded about what else God is building and then for the Jewish people, the temple that was made of stone. There's a story back in the Hebrew tradition that as they were trying to figure out the foundation, the stonecutter cut a stone. The builder on site said, no, that stone is not the right one. So they set that stone aside and continued building. And they got further into the project of building the temple. And they looked and they said, well, now something's not working out here as we're putting these stones together. And they looked over and they said, that was the right stone that the master builder, the architect, in other words, thought had identified but said it was wrong. That stone was necessary for the temple. And so they took it back to that place and put the cornerstone back in. This cornerstone that the psalmist speaks of,